All right, so you have been working on your wikis, and I wanted to take a quick minute to give you some refresher tips so that moving into our Unit 3, you know exactly how to get full points. So the purpose of the wiki is to allow you to discuss some of the ideas in the course with colleagues so that you can kind of bounce ideas off each other or figure out where you might be tripped up. For each wiki, the article that you'll be reviewing is the one that you read earlier in the unit. So in this unit, the questions 1 through 5 as well as 6 and 7, relate to the article that we read on GMOs. So if you click on the wiki, you'll notice that it is already divided for you into groups. One thing that I've noticed is people are hitting Create Wiki Page instead of just going directly to the group. If you know your group assignment and you click right in there, instead of creating a new page, all you have to do is click Edit Wiki Content, and you can type right in with your group to share those ideas. So I highly recommend going back and doing that if you haven't already. So for our Unit 3, make sure that you're posting in the right spot. The next thing that I want to highlight is every time that you go to a wiki assignment, I give you a sample. And this is to show you how to respond. So if you click on that document, it tells you how you're graded. So a quick recap. To earn full points, you must answer each question. So for the past few units, people have been chiming in on 1 or 2. I really want to get your input on all of them because what I'm finding is sometimes people are posting an answer that actually isn't correct and people are just jumping on board and saying yeah, and it's better to have a discussion and figure out, oh, maybe there is a different idea, and have that kind of dialogue so that you can all get to the correct answer. Be sure to label each of your responses. You can use colors if you like, it's up to you, but just so that people can see who is responding to which question. And if you don't know the answer to a question, it's always included in the assignments for the week. So I'm never going to ask you about a content topic that we haven't covered. So if you're stumped, go back and review the work that we did earlier in that module. Now for grading purposes, if you answer all the questions, even if your answers are wrong, you get full credit. If you answer most of the questions, but not all of them, I'll give you 5 points. And if you answer less than like half or less of the questions, you end up with a 0. So let's show a sample of how to do this. So for a question like what is the main idea, this is a group that contains Jessica, Bob, Casey, and Jason. And you can kind of see the dialogue that they go through to figure out what the main idea is. So Jessica says, I think the main idea is that drinking caffeine is good for your mind. Bob says, I thought the main idea is that coffee and tea help you avoid depression. Casey jumps in, Bob, but didn't the article mention Alzheimer's and memory too? Jason, I think we need to come up with a way to say it that includes all of those things. Casey, how about people that regularly drink coffee and tea may have better brain health? Bob, sounds good to me. Jessica, me too. And Jason, yep. So that's a great example of a dialogue, and some of your groups are already doing this. Yay! For those of you that just need a little refresher, try this out next time. For multiple choice questions, you can write your name by your answer. So in this case, for the rhetorical mode, Jessica thinks it's description and Bob thinks it's exposition. And then you can also just disagree or agree in the text that follows. So for example, Jason said he agrees with Jessica. Casey said she does as well. And Bob said, what's the difference between description and exposition? And Casey said, in the exposition mode, you're explaining something like a process. In description, you're recreating something like an event or a person so that the reader can picture it in their minds like he or she is seeing it. And Bob said, then I agree with Jessica too. So if you go back to your wikis, some of your groups are really close to doing this, and I think you're doing great. Some of you are having a little bit of trouble, so hopefully this helps and made you feel more confident in your responses. Let me know if you have any questions.